meeting to order today. I'm Sarah Muzzin, the PTA president, and I just want to welcome you all here. Hopefully you had great holidays and are happy to be back. And I'm going to start off quickly with our college and career counselor, Brenda Huddy. She spoke last year and a lot of parents attended and felt that she was a great resource. So she had to leave at 7:25 and I wanted to let her go first and we'll take care of the meeting later. So Brenda, I'm going to put you on right now.
Great. Thank you so much. I was unmuted when you guys couldn't hear me. So Sarah, is there any chance you can project my PowerPoint? I don't want to trigger this off.
There you go. No, you got to share your screen.
Oh, my bad. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
And no worries. I hope you guys can see it. I'm not seeing it, but I'm happy to just move forward. Okay. Excellent.
Can you see that?
Well,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm going to get started. Good evening, everyone. I am Brenda Guinan Huddy. I'm really happy to be with you tonight. It's, Sarah contacted me and said, hey, will you speak again? And I said, wow, that was January of last year. So I cannot believe it's already been a year. But I'm happy to be here and talk to you tonight. What I really want to do is just do a nice overview of the College and Career Center and the resources and support materials that we have. Before I move forward, I do want to talk about, and I talked about this last year, a lot of times our students see college as a lane, career as a lane. And one thing that I'd like to propose and have students think about is looking at those two things as an intersection, looking at how they overlap and as they plan for the future. So first, we will look at, if you just want to advance the slide, I do want to talk about the career side. First of all, the College and Career Center does have a physical space. It's basically across from the office. We're kitty corner from the office, and we anchor the student center. It is a space full of resources. It's open for students to come in and use. Most of the college visits are held in the College and Career Center, and that is also where I'm at during the day. So I want you to know I try as hard as I can to get a lot of resources online, to get on the College and Career website. I also submit to e-news every week, but I am in a physical space, and that's where a lot of the resources are. So I want to talk about career readiness first. This is now termed future readiness as well. You probably are starting to hear that term, and having students look to the future. When we look at the career model or career development model, awareness usually takes place. The goal for that is elementary. Exploration is middle school. And as you see, I have preparation underlined because that is high school. If we look at the model, preparation is really taking place, hopefully during high school. And that is our goal. What I talked about last year, and in case you don't know or are new to Seaholm, every year students need to complete their educational development plan. That's their EDP. That is all about career development, career readiness, looking at and exploring careers. So this is required. It's really a state initiative. It's a K-12 initiative, and it's required every year. And so students build up to that. They explore every year. They do little tasks and lessons within a platform that we use. It's Zello. Some of you may remember back in the day, career cruising. We now use a platform called Zello. A lot of schools and districts in Oakland County use this Zello platform. I personally think it's a great platform. It has a lot of career information and it has a lot of college information. So that happens every year. So if you hear students talking about Zello, or as we head towards spring, I'm trying to get to the students that maybe haven't finished yet. That's what we're talking about. It's really EDP, and it's falling under the Educational Development Plan. Other things that we do and we look at in the College and Career Center is looking at majors and what majors lead to different careers. Sometimes they're career pathway sessions. Before I've had an alum contact me that was studying animal science, wanted to do a presentation. Sometimes this is just recently HBCU had a presentation. This can be um, just different things that we're presenting through the College and Career Center. Also, students that are looking at different post-secondary options. This might be military, this might be taking a gap year, this might be the trades. So all of that information is in there as well. Part-time jobs. The postings are right up in the College and Career Center. I just looked at my email before I got in, and there was Culver's is opening in Clawson and they're looking for workers. So they sent me a job posting. Also resumes, helping students develop and work on that resume if they are going to apply for a job, and then they need a resume to do that. I do want you to know that Career Day is coming up. This is for juniors. We all know junior year is really meaty year. So Career Day is coming up on April 3rd, and that will be a time for juniors to look at and hear from different industry professionals that work in different areas. They're able to sign up, looking at their interest, and really it's a great day for juniors, and it's a great day for Seaholm. We have a lot of alum that come in and come back to Seaholm for that. So next slide. Now we're going to look at the college preparation side. I do want you all to know that there are tons of resources in the College and Career Center. There's a lot of resources on the CCC website as well. Students start that college search process. This can take a little bit of time to unfold. So I always tell students, start looking at this, looking at colleges. They can do a lot on the college websites themselves, but also different platforms. And what they're really starting to look for is trends. Okay, so now I'm going to look at colleges and Zello, see what comes up for me. I might look at Peterson's. I might start looking at different platforms, and then as they would in any research, what are they seeing in trends of different colleges that are coming up for them as they filter during this process? What I can't stress enough, and I hope that you all will stress to your students, we're very fortunate that colleges from across the country come to visit Seaholm. This typically takes place in the fall. It's fall travel season for colleges. And they come in, most of the visits are held right in the College and Career Center. Obviously, some very large visits like U of M and MSU will have maybe the little theater. But it's a time for students to come in, get the most up-to-date information, get that information from the source. I always tell the students, get the information from the source being the institution. A lot of changes have taken place in the last 5 years since the pandemic. A lot of changes happen rapidly at colleges and universities in general. And so you have to be aware of that. There's a lot of commentary out there, and some of it is really to the benefit of students. It might be a neighbor or a cousin that also went to that institution, but a lot of changes have happened in a short amount of time. So that's why I always tell students that you really want to get that information from the source. So these college visits are a great time to come in. They might be learning about a college for the first time. They might not have a lot of questions, but the more visits they attend, they start to get a rhythm to the situation, to asking questions. At the end, most of the time, the college admissions representatives or officers hand out their business cards. It's time for a student to make a contact, because let's say down the road they decide, okay, I want to apply to this institution, and something odd comes up in the application or something happens in processing and they need a contact. Well, now they have that information. Usually at the end of those sessions, I ask on the student's behalf, are you a reader? Meaning, are you the person that reads the applications? And most of the time, a lot of the time they are. So what that means is sometimes the students forget that, oh, they put all this work into and they may decide to apply. and there's an actual person reading, and sometimes a few people reading these applications. And so it's just a really great opportunity to get the most up-to-date information and get it from the source and get a contact. And so we are very fortunate because of Seaholm's reputation. Also, to be quite frank, because we live in a metropolitan area, that representatives can come in and they essentially travel, and they have regions and territories that they have to cover. So I always tell students, don't sleep on that. It happens in the fall, and there's a lot going on in the fall as we get back to school, but you really have to be aware as you're looking at the colleges and what colleges and visits you want to attend. Financial aid and scholarship information. We have a great amount of this. I am contacted by various organizations about scholarships. I get so much information about this. So on the Seaholm website, under counseling is the College and Career Center link. Under that is the scholarship link. This is over 30 pages long. So it's still up to the student and family to, I always say, get to the crux of the information, decide if they want to take the time to apply. There are a lot of scholarships out there. It's like anything else. You got to get organized in the process. And I always tell students the deadline dates are really what is going to power that. It's like anything else. It's like the college applications. You have to get ahead of the deadline dates. But there are a ton of scholarships out there. I have a lot of information on the website itself, and those are the ones that come across my desk and that we know about. There's much more when students get organized into that search. I do typically email the seniors once a week as a reminder about scholarships. So I'll email them and say, basically, I'm just saying, hey, don't forget. But I'm also saying, hey, here's a couple dates of some scholarships that are coming up soon. If you're interested, and sometimes, a senior will look at it and say, not me, not me, not me. Other times, they might look at it and say, hey, this one I think I want to go for. So old dates are left on the website. I do that on purpose so a junior or a sophomore can look at that and say, that was due in April, probably going to be due in April again. So, it's just some students really start looking early. I do want to point out that we have a college prep series for juniors. Again, junior year, that meaty year. That's going to be in the spring. That is typically guest speakers that come in and talk about various things. That might be essay writing, that might be college search, looking at majors, that might be financial aid or scholarships, all part of that process as students are building. It might be talking about extracurricular activities. Last year, the University of Pennsylvania came in for that. So it's great information. What I can't control is what time of the day that information is going to be. I'm going to use advisory to our advantage, but sometimes I reach out and a rep might say, hey, I'm going to be in town and I can come straight from the airport, but this is the only time I can give you, Brenda, because it's the weekend. Now, Fridays, as we all know, not the best, but if that's when they can give me, I'm going to thank them graciously, and that's the time it's going to be. So if you see the college the junior college prep series listed and you're like, oh, just know that I'm working with admissions officers and sometimes guest speakers, and we're kind of at the mercy of their schedule. But great information. So don't let your junior sleep on that. Great information. And again, another time to make contacts. We will have a Birmingham Area College Fair on March 20th. This is a cohort. This is a group of us that work together to put on the fairs. Last year it was at Groves. This year it will be at Seaholm. So this is a great opportunity for younger students, for families to come in. Old school fair. it's going to be the institutions lined up, and students can walk up and down. They can grab information. They can talk. Typically, this is a general grab some information, maybe talk to the rep for a few minutes and get to more colleges. But that will happen right at Seaholm at the Seaholm gym on March 20th. So please get that on your calendars. Please start spreading the word. That's a great opportunity to talk to a lot of colleges at once. And this year we're hosting, so we're thrilled about that. All right, next slide. And the upcoming events, I want to let you know, junior parents and students, on February 6th, we're holding a junior student and parent night. That's going to be really looking to the future event of an overview of starting to look at the college application process. That will be held virtually at 6 p.m. on February 6th. That's the counseling department and myself. March 20th, again, is at Birmingham Area College Fair. Uh, again, at Seaholm, we're thrilled about that. April 3rd will be Career Day for juniors. That will be at Seaholm. That's a morning event. And the Junior College Prep Series is in April and May. Beyond that, like I said, students know to come in. A lot of students will contact me and say, hey, Mrs. Huddy, I'd like to make an appointment. Students can do that. They can also just pop at the College and Career Center. If I'm able to talk to them at that time, I will. I have a lot of students that come in regularly, and I have some students that just pop in every once in a great while. I do want you to encourage, especially your underclassmen, come in and introduce themselves. I look at it as I'm a great resource for them, but I also want them to start understanding that if they are looking at college, there will be career centers almost at every institution. And so it's going to be up to them at any institution or college to use the resources of that career center. And I think you're starting great habits of coming in, talking to me, starting to understand the process. But then also, as I'm telling seniors right now, don't wait until senior or junior year when you're in college to come into the career center at college. Start building that networking and looking at the resources in freshman and sophomore year. So I know sometimes students, it can be maybe a little intimidating to come into the College and Career Center, but I think once they do it, they get to know me and I get to know them, and I think it's then something that they do enjoy coming in. So please encourage your student, even if it's the first time they just come in. Some students will say, I just want to introduce myself. Well, that's great. That's a great starting point. And they can do it too if they're swinging by and seeing their counselor. They can come in and just, oh, I'm here in the counseling office and now I'm going to swing by. I want you to know I do contact seniors a lot. The seniors, and one thing I do always stress to seniors in general, I'll say, did you get my email? And it takes some time for seniors, I think, to start opening up my emails. But once they do, they see what I'm doing. What I'm doing is trying to get them information. And again, I'm modeling how the colleges are going to communicate with them. And it may seem antiquated to them, but that is how colleges communicate. So right now I'm reminding seniors, like, you got to be checking your email, you got to be checking those portals. The colleges and universities may be trying to get important information to you. It may be about scholarships, it may be about housing, it may be about events coming up, even in Metro Detroit. So it's just that communication process. And it takes a while for students to kind of, I know email's not their first choice, but typically they start to understand, okay, Mrs. Huddy's trying to get us some information. I need to open these emails. That's a very fast overview. And I know I just spoke a lot. I have a couple minutes for questions. Are there any immediate questions?
This is Debbie. I have a quick question. I have a senior, so wanted to know about the FAFSA. Is there something on the website that kind of gives you tips and tricks about filling out that application?
Yeah, hi Debbie.
Hi.
Just last night, we actually had a FAFSA
Yeah.
free application for federal student aid night that was hosted by Oakland University. It's really their financial aid services department, and they do that as a service to the community. That's another thing. There has been a ton of changes, and that form got a complete overhaul last year, and has rolled out a little late the last 2 years. It looks like this year is much smoother sailing. But the great thing is I really use Oakland University, as a resource for that. If you weren't able to make last night's,
Yeah.
they have several dates on their website that you can sign up for. So if you don't find that link on the Oakland University Financial Services events, it's under events.
Okay.
Just email me and I can email you the link. But I personally think that they do a bang up job. They always have up to date information. Like I said, they've been doing this as a service to the community for a really long time. And I think that it's great information. They have forms there you need. And what happens is during the workshop, if you have a question, you can chat with them, or they'll put you in a private chat.
Right.
So
Yeah, I was
I
on it
would
last year, and that's not going to help because it changed from to this year. So that's great. I appreciate that.
Yes. And my second suggestion with that is also be on the lookout if your student has started to narrow down where they're probably or most likely going to enroll. That's the source itself, because there's a lot of colleges that offer support and workshops. But it's just going to the website and finding out, and then you're getting it directly from the institution that they looks like they might attend. So I would check it out on both sides.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for your help.
Any more questions? No? Thank you, Brenda. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I know I talked a lot. I'm so sorry to talk, but I wanted to get the information to you. The final thing I would like to say is I want to thank the PTA. I just think you all do such a great job in supporting the staff and supporting us. And I want you to know it does not go unnoticed. I also want to thank you for the PTA for your grant efforts. I myself have put in for the grant for a few years. It's a pretty seamless way to enter for a grant, and really we so appreciate the support. So thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for supporting our staff and our students. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. We try hard.
It's obvious. You guys are great. All right, well, that's it for me. Again, please encourage your students to come in and see me. Even, I know I talked a lot about juniors tonight and seniors, but the underclassmen, it's a process, and it seems like a slow process, but we all know how fast it goes. And that's my final thing. I would encourage your students right now, they're focused on classes, and that's great. If they get awards, or if they get, a project they're proud of, or certain things, that as we see the years unfold really quickly, I've just have them try to keep everything in a folder. Before you know it, you snap and it's senior year, and you're trying to think of, well, what did I do? And what are the hours I did that charity? And some of the things, it just seems to go by the wayside. They may choose not to talk about them. They may choose not to move forward with them. But I think it makes it a little bit easier for everyone, if when you start the application process, everything you need is in one spot. All right. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have
See you in
a
the
great night,
morning.
guys.
Thanks.
Take care.
April 3rd for the career day for 3 years. Yes. Next up, we have Elena. Anything to report?
Nothing to report. We don't have to vote for the minutes.
Okay,
They were posted to our Facebook site and the video of the meeting was posted to our Facebook site.
we're great. Then I will give you my quick president's report. Wanted to let you know that in December, we did quite a few things, which was great. We attended, or I attended the state of the district meeting. Mike was there also. It was hosted by Dr. Robertson. It was interesting information that's recorded on the website if you need to see anything about the future of what's going on with Birmingham Public Schools. It was great information, I thought. We also had the 8th grade parent night here in the beginning of December, and we presented at that to try to get everybody ready for next year. We had conference dinners for the teachers. We did Slider Chili Bar, and it was a great success, I heard. Thank you, Melissa Casiba and Becky Noel. I saw Becky was just on, so thanks so much for coordinating that. We really appreciate that. Upcoming on January 23rd is the Magic of Hope event at Groves, which sounds like a wonderful event. So there is information on the website about that they have also sent out. So look for that.
Not to interrupt, a
Go
funny story about that. Your kids all have to do their delo, they all have to do their career cruising or whatever they called throughout the years. That gentleman had one of his things come up because he was a student with Miss Bowman, who is our college and our career focused education department chair. And his Zello equivalent said that he would be interested in magic or being a magician. And people kind of like thought it was dumb, but it was true, and he has since turned this career into it. So, you know, when your kids were like, why do I have to do that? It's not going to really tell me what it's going to do. And you can say, but sometimes it does. If it tells you to be a magician, maybe you will be.
Thought it was going to be a gym.
Power of suggestion.
Yeah.
Never know.
If you want to talk with Mr. Dwald, he'll tell you why being a PE teacher is the greatest job in the world.
You do have to pre-register for that event.
You do, yeah. So it's online, the information. Posted that. And then February 1st is the upcoming BEF annual bash that will be hosted at the Daxton. And Christina Cunningham, thank you very much, put together a great basket. She had a new idea this year. And it's a cooking basket with cooking classes available from Sir Latab. So when you go to the auction, make sure to vote for that.
We still have tickets available, but we project that we hope to sell out by this coming weekend. So if you haven't got your bash ticket yet, make sure you grab one.
And then on February 6th, there's a meeting for all of the exec board here. You're all invited by the BTS Council to an event, location to be determined, and it's usually small appetizers. And if you'd like to buy your own cocktail, you can do your own cocktail there, but the pool will only fund the food. So it's kind of a nice event. We did this last year for the first time, and they didn't invite the exec board, they just invited the BTS council members. So it's nice that they're inviting members of the exec board this year for a thank you. Next is the slate. We already have to start thinking about the 25-26 slate. So if you know of anybody that's interested in positions for next year, or you want to repeat your position or quit your position, it's time to start thinking about that and letting me know. I also heard that yesterday they announced the reflections winners. We had 55 BPS winners announced, and we will honor those winners. Not sure exactly what we're doing yet, but we'll do a little something for the Seaholm winners. The print shop I heard is back open again, and we have someone in it, so we can start using that again because it was down for a while. And also, they wanted us to start promoting it to the public to use because the prices are so reasonable. So if you need print jobs done, contact the BPS print shop. And then another thing, I went to the BPS council meeting last night, and one thing that was discussed was instead of a snow day, if the Lions make it to the Super Bowl, we're possibly discussing having a Lions Day. I'm not sure what they would call it officially, but it's not official yet. They're going to see if it's going to come from the state, hopefully. And so I think they didn't have to like mandate it here, but she was asking all our opinions last night as to whether we thought that would be a good thing or not. So okay. Would be kind of a cool thing.
We have 6 snow days built into the schedule, so
Okay.
if we don't use them, we don't get them back. So
Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know that that could be an event the day after the Super Bowl, possibly. Upcoming events, we're trying to combine our resources and provide some quarterly community-wide events for parents. And we're working jointly with Seaholm, Grove, and the BPS middle schools to do some of these events. February, we're working with the Birmingham Bloomfield Coalition, Community Coalition, and we're having a mental health substance abuse night on February 27th from 7 to 8:30 in the Seaholm Little Theater. And they will have some students come and actually talk about things that they talk about at their meetings. So it will be a student presentation for parents. And we're also inviting, Baker wanted to invite 4th and 5th grade students as well. So that will be happening February 27th. In March, we're actually going to do something called Know Your Rights. And it will be presented by a former Seaholm student that Mr. Wicker had years ago, who has now become a lawyer. And we're going to review common mistakes that kids make that possibly land them in a juvenile court. Example, minor in possession, marijuana, inappropriate photos. So he's going to talk about all that to parents, and that will be on Teams, and he'll be here at our PTSA meeting live.
I mean, Kevin probably opened his own law firm because of me being his
Yeah, probably.
his AP econ teacher. I must have inspired him.
It must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say in a nutshell. I did that pretty quick. Jen Stefelli is the treasurer. She was not able to be here tonight, but we're tracking fine on everything budget wise. It's posted online, so if you need to review our budget, you can do so. Do you guys have any questions about the budget? Anybody? No? Okay, so that's that, and then I will put Mr. Wicker on. Sorry, the principal. Oh,
She said that we are running a little low on First Friday funds.
oh yeah, so
Yeah.
March, April, and May, I was gonna get.
Okay.
I haven't won First Friday yet, so
Oh, no.
this is very important that we continue.
Now you're up.
So now this Lions Day thing has really gotten my hopes up. Like I could have been better off not knowing that.
Some people didn't want that, because there were, some people who work want to make sure their kids can go somewhere, but I just was thinking of it could be a snow day.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Wonderful. So as everyone know, we are coming to the end of our first semester of our first year on semester since 2007. So we have a couple of events coming up. So every Tuesday and Thursday at school, Miss Holloway has math tutoring, but she's definitely seen some more kids coming, as we approach this. And then we also have lunch math tutoring 1 day a week during A lunch and 1 day a week during B lunch. And that is with Mr. Thayer. So those things have been well advertised, but just reminding if anyone is looking. And then, of course, also Miss Holloway is a AP biology teacher. So she does math, but she also, she'll do science after school if someone is in need. Next week, our only full day is Tuesday. And after school on Tuesday is our Cocoa and Cram from 3 to 5. So it is designed mostly for our freshmen, but it's a really great opportunity for the freshmen to work with their Maple mentors and get ready for their first final season. I saw up there, I don't want to steal the thunder of Student Congress, but Charity Week is coming up.
Go right ahead. She's not here.
Oh, okay. Let me pull up the exact date on that. But that is definitely something that the kids are very excited about. They've come to talk to me about different events they want to either do again. That Charity Week will be March 3rd through March 7th. And that is on the Seaholm calendar. And yeah, so we're just, kind of winding down first semester, and it's been a really good one. And, we are second semester starts on the 27th. And between now and then, we just want to encourage our kids to, finish all their work and be respectful to their teachers, because there are some of your colleagues who are turning in a lot of late stuff all at the end of the time. So, our teachers are doing our best, but it was a really great first semester, and I'm looking forward to the second semester and all the excitement that brings.
Great, thank you. And Katie, are you online by chance? I know you were at some event. Okay, she's not online, So I'm going to skip that one for now. I don't believe there are any legislative updates, so she would have let me know. And then Christina, we're pretty up to date on all our grants. Everything's good, paid out. We're in good shape. Okay, okay, great, super.
The backup to Katie, there has still been no movement on the cell phone legislation. So it's still, it has not died, nor has it been passed. So that's still floating out there. Now the kids are still talking about it. So it's, and I don't know if anyone here is in Dr. Roberson's Anxious Generation Book Club. And, you know, so it is definitely a topic that we continue to have discussions both on the building level here at Seaholm and then the larger district level about the future of personal technology in public schools.
Banning the phones.
So the legislation has different, as proposed by the state senator whose name I've forgotten, like there's a different, you know, expectation for K-5, 6, 8, and 9, 12. And as written right now, 9, 12 students could have, they could like physically have a phone with them, but you are not supposed to take it out during the school day. And ranging, I believe, all the way down to like K-5 are not supposed to have phone even off with them. So, I mean, it is a fairly divisive piece of legislation. Some people are really strongly behind it, and others don't like the idea of the state dictating what their kids can and cannot do in school. So, from what I've been told by the people from I'm part of the Michigan Association of Secondary School Principals, MASSB, that there doesn't seem to be enough ground support to see that legislation passed this year. But we will see but it's out there, so it could be something coming in the future.
First Fridays, we just talked about that. Emily Johnson and Amanda Sobolewski are doing an awesome job on that. We had plenty through the end of the year, but now we're into 2025 and we still need some funding for March, April, and May. So please look on the Sign Up Genius online on the Seaholm site and you will be able to sign up if you're interested. Monthly teacher treats, Chris Glazier and Sandy Boyle. Thank you very much for all you've been doing. December was the Carpenen families treat. And thank you very much for donating to that. We appreciate it. March, April, and May also are still open on the Sign Up Genius. So feel free to go online and do that. And then Kim, I don't think you're online. Kim, are you online? No. Okay. For the parent reps that helped out in the beginning of the year with Field Day, we're trying to think of for next year or for the future, what else we can use the parent reps for. I know they post on Facebook pages, but if there's anything that we can come up with to help make them help us or anything that we need, if anybody has any ideas, please present them to us because we're trying to, you know, make them resourceful and useful to us as well throughout the year. And that's pretty much it. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Short and sweet. Okay. Our meeting schedule is on here for the next 4 meetings that we have. All meetings are on Teams and at 7 p.m. So we look forward to having you next month for the Know Your Rights meeting, actually in March. February, there will be no meeting. So March will be our next official meeting. So thank you for coming. Okay. A motion to adjourn the meeting, please. A motion. Okay. Second. Thank you. Meeting complete. Thanks. Have a good week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, there was something in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, okay.
So,
No,
Get
it's
it?
okay.
Okay.
It was a thank you.
Thank you for Brenda.
It was only 40 minutes and we had her.
well, thank you.
I'm sorry.